Hi, this is Dr. Hinshaw again, and the reason that I'm talking to you now is your child was showing some difficulty when they focus the eyes when they look up close. The actual name of that is called Accommodative Infacility, and I think you would agree with me that that is a mouthful, and if you look at it on paper, it's a whole long, a big long name. Why don't we call it an elevator problem? Let's kind of consider that. Let's say we're looking off at the Sierra, which is behind us here, and we're looking all the way out there. And from here, I guess that's about 50 miles as the crow flies or something like that, a long way. And then let's say we're going to look up close where we do our reading. To do that, it's the same power as if going up 4 floors in an elevator. Well, what we found out in your child, that your child only had 3 floors available. So what your child's doing when he wants to get to that 4th floor to get to look at that book that he's reading instead of looking out the window, he's got to push up to that floor, and that creates a lot of eye strain and a lot of strain in the body for that matter. And in the future, if that's kept up, your child could run into problems like needing glasses, like becoming nearsighted or have astigmatism, or an eye might turn inward or outward. And also, I think you would recognize how this interferes with learning in school. So what do we need to do? We want to make an elevator booster so that child has an extra floor. And that's the reason for talking the lens that we'd be describing. So every time he's doing close work and he's reading, looking at a computer, if he's doing math, if he's writing, and anything like a smartphone that your child might have, or a lot of these little small computer games where they're looking up close, your child would be wearing that elevator booster so he's not straining his eyes so much. Well, you may find it unusual. Why in the world would we prescribe glasses for a youngster like this? Normally, this type of thing happens to people in their mid-40s where they can't get those extra floors in the elevator, whereas children normally have something like 12 floors available to them. And yet, what's happened recently, though, we're beginning to see this showing up in kids. They're under a lot of stress in the environment they are. There is a lot of early childhood education type things where we're exposing them too quickly to things that strain their eyeballs, and there's all sorts of things. There's all sorts of television that could be related to diet, but we're beginning to see these problems. The problem is most doctors assume a child, 13 or under, has something like 12 floors available to get up there in that elevator, and so they don't even bother to test. You may have noticed that long stick that we brought out with a chart at the end of it to check your child when they were looking up close. And of course, if you don't do that, which most of the doctors don't do with a child, of course they're not going to find the problem. They won't see it because they didn't test for it. And that's the reason for our Vision Excellence here, why we do that testing, and that's how we found the problem in your child. So we're hoping that we'll be able to help your child a great deal with their schoolwork and their learning, and I hope that we'll make your child more comfortable.